nobody's like, I want to have conflict. But like my interpretation, like what I know and have experienced with you is you're able to have those like dialogues with yourself of like, okay, I've got conflicting things going on, and being able to like rest in that. I think is interesting. I feel like you're higher up than I am. Just without, not that it's a competition, and maybe you don't feel that way. Like maybe you read the sages and you don't feel like you're where I interpret that you are, but it's interesting. And I also thought, kind of tying back to both of us, I'm laughing because I literally just turned to the page. I'm just not on purpose. That's great. So 125, and we both named this, and so I think it will be interesting. And it's in the growth and loss of the incorporative self. So he's talking about, the infant, but how do we respond when somebody's anxious? So it's like in that first full paragraph, like halfway down, is our response essentially to the anxiety or to the person who's feeling anxious?
I underline that too.
Yeah. The usual caring response is to negative feelings and attempt to relieve the feelings, and talks about being well-intentioned, but it's also problematic because how we respond, and then at the very bottom, at the beginning of that teeny little paragraph right there, how we respond to a person's anxiety is a fundamental question because it raises for us the question of who we believe the person to be. And then there's more in the next page of like the ability to remain present for others when they're anxious without becoming too anxious ourselves or trying, like I saw, it's talking to the infant in the stage of the infant, but like I think too, a lot of times, like I know we talked in class about like helicopter parents and stuff like that, but I'm like, that's basically what if we're as a society perpetuating this, that like you're anxious, I have to immediately try to end the anxiety instead of like keeping that environment where you can process it yourself, or and show that I trust that you can process this, be supportive, but not try to fix it for you.
Yeah. To add to that, I love where this is going, first of all. Second of all, I think it's cool that we underline that same sentence. Third of all, I want to read to you a part that struck me it's on 126 in that first paragraph. I noted the whole paragraph, but this one sentence goes along exactly with what you're saying. When we respond to the person and her experience of pain, rather than in order to relieve the pain, we testify to our faith in the trustworthiness of the motion of evolution, to our faith in the trustworthiness of life itself. And that reminds
that line.
That reminds me though of what we were talking about on Sunday, which was about the caterpillars and the psalm that you read, or the hymn. Because what that's basically saying is, I'm a caterpillar trusting in becoming a butterfly. Like whatever this experience is doing to me, whatever anxiety is caused by it. Like I have thought about it as when I feel really disconnected or like anxious about something, I tell myself I'm like the caterpillar in the cocoon who's all wrapped up and has nowhere to go, but he's feeling like being ripped and shredded and changed and morphed and like growing these wings and stuff like that. Like just really feeling all of that bodily change. Like it's not just emotional anxiety. He is becoming or she, in my case, is becoming something different, like emotionally and mentally, but also physically. Like there's some physiological changes there. So anyway, that's a sidebar about how I visualize this in my head and how I've started to talk to myself about it. But like, and maybe this is how we frame the paper is just about like, hey, we decided to write about grief. In doing so, we've just really allowed each other a space to sit with anxieties, right? Like just maybe we don't even share. I mean, we can see how it comes together, but maybe what it is just talking about the process of sitting with anxiety and what that feels like, rather than what, but just throwing that out there as a potential.
Yeah, I like that. And I think, I mean, yeah, I like that. This is probably going to sound stupid, but I was just like, okay, I know a butterfly comes from the caterpillar, but I'm like, when a caterpillar is born, it comes from an egg, right? And so I had to Google it to make sure it was right. That's where it, which is probably embarrassing, but it was like one of those things where I'm like, we talk about the butterfly coming from the caterpillar, but I mean, I assumed it was, but I was like, I'm sure a butterfly just isn't burst out a caterpillar. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to double check my knowledge here. But you had said on our last call, like how we can get rehatched. And I mean, that's literally what happens with the caterpillar is it's hatched twice. It's hatched, you know, or the butterfly, it's hatched from an egg into the caterpillar. And then from the caterpillar goes into the cocoon. So it's, you know, multiple. But I love